श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्. We are a very blessed land. When I speak about our land, I'm not talking about the boundary that we have now carved of India, the larger subcontinent that could even extend to the southeast of Asia, to Afghanistan. All of this land has been witness to the various incidents in our Itihasas and Puranas. Various Maharishis, Acharyas, Arvas, Bhaktas were part of this land. In this land, in this civilization that holds such utmost importance to such luminaries, three luminaries were born one after the other in probably very, very consecutive time periods in three neighboring states. In the state of Kerala, which is often called as Parashurama Kshetram, was born Adi Shankaracharya in the 8th and the 9th centuries. He lived for a very short span of 32 years, and as taught to him by his Purvacharyas, he formulated a beautiful Siddhantam called as Advaita Siddhantam, based largely on Abheda Shrutis, and walked the entire span of our country. His commentary on Brahma Sutras of Badarayana, called as Shankara Bhashyam, his very celebrated commentary on Bhagavad Gita of Lord Sri Krishna, which is regarded as Upanishad Saram, his commentary on the Dashopanishads, which together form the basis of Advaita philosophy, is commendable and has been appreciated by scholars and Indologists across the world. Next, in the 11th and the 12th centuries, in the state of Tamil Nadu, in a small hamlet called as Sri Perumbudur, was born Ramanujacharya, who, as taught to him by his Purvacharyas, formulated the Visishtadvaita Siddhantam. Like Shankara, he too commented upon Brahma Sutras, that is called as Sri Bhashyam. He commented upon Bhagavad Gita, which is called Gita Bhashyam. And he gave the essence of Upanishads through a work called as Vedanta Sangraham. Similarly, was born Ananda Tirtha Purna Prajna, also known as Madhvacharya, in the state of Karnataka, in the 13th and the 14th centuries, and he too gave a bhashyam on Brahma Sutrams, Bhagavad Gita, and Upanishads. These three acharyas of three neighboring states have given us three beautiful siddhantams. Of these siddhantams, Adi Shankaracharya professed the siddhantam, the philosophy of Advaitam, which is often regarded or told in English as non-dualism. In his lifetime, besides visiting and having darshan at various temples, besides training his students, besides nurturing the philosophy of Advaita, he did come up with beautiful compositions that show his prowess in the Sanskrit language. One such composition, which relates to everybody in this world, is a composition called Matra Panchakam or Matrika Panchakam. In this composition, he plays the role of a very, very doting son and showers his love, respect, and regards to his very, very respected mother, Aryamba. Though he took up sannyasam at a very young age, it is said, as per many accounts, that his mother thought of him that he should be performing the funeral rites to her. So it is said that Shankara walked till Kaladi, and it is also said in certain accounts that the inhabitants of Kaladi did not want Shankara to perform the funeral rites because he had accepted the fourth ashrama called as Sannyasa Ashrama, and a sannyasi is not supposed to associate himself with his family members again. But Shankara, it is said to have said that the role of a mother, the relationship between the mother and the child is beyond the ashrama dharma, and it is said he performed. While some accounts say he didn't perform, he let another person perform, but he did sing the Matrika Panchakam. In whichever case, we don't have, uh, I think everybody is able to hear. Okay.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah. So, we don't have any CCTV footage of any of these acharyas. We believe in something called as Shravanam. So, we need to believe that Adi Shankara would have surely paid respects to his mother. And of course, there is this living example of Matrika Panchakam in chaste Sanskrit that is interspersed with such unadulterated love. While she died, and he performed the rites. He is said to have composed this work. This is a very small work of 5 shlokas. There are 5 verses. Not every word in Sanskritam that indicates a number should have those many number of verses. For example, an Ashtakam will have 8 verses plus the ninth one, which becomes the Phalam. Same is the case with Vimshati. Same is the case with Panchashat. Same is the case with a Shatakam or a Sahasram. If they say Sahasram, it could have 1008 verses. For example, Paduka Sahasram has more than 1000. Narayaniyam has more than 1000. If it is a Shatakam, it could have more than 100. If you look at the Daya Shatakam or if you look at the Achyuta Shatakam, it has more than 100. But this exactly has 5. I will take you through every shloka and try to compare this with instances from our itihasas and puranas. The first, Astantavadiyam prasuti samaye durvara shulavyatha nairuchyam tanu soshanam malamayi shayyacha samatsari ekasyapi na गर्भभार भरण क्लेशस्य यस्या क्षमाः दातुं निष्कृतिमुन्नतोऽपि तनयस्तस्यै जनन्यै नमः. Tasyai jananyai namaha. He says, I give my namaskarams to that mother who has given birth to me. Tasyai jananyai namaha. He now tries to put down points as to what is the pain that she has undergone in giving birth to him. Now we need to put our mothers in the place of Aryamba and put us in the place of Adi Shankara. I know it is a very, very daunting task and a daring task to even say that we are going to put ourselves in the place of Shankara. But to experience Matra Panchakam, we need to pay a note to our own mothers. So he says, Astam Tavadiyam Prasudi Samaye Durvara Shulavyatha. Mother, when you gave birth to me, it was as if the shulam, when being pierced into a person, the pain that a person experiences is the pain that you would have experienced while giving birth to me. In fact, there is a very contrasting example. In Dhruva Charitram, we come across this lady called as Suruchi, who was a stepmother. While Dhruva, a little 4-year-old boy, wanted to go and sit on the lap of his father Uttanapada, noticing that his brother Uttama was sitting, this lady called Suruchi, who is his stepmother, pulls him, drags him, and admonishes him, stating that you are not born of me. You are born of that Suniti. You are not born of me. You do not have the fortune of being born of me. So you have no rights to sit on the lap of this person called Uttanapada despite him being your father. These words of Suruchi, Tyagaraja, the very saint poet Tyagaraja, who did not live a life out of begging, but he lived a life out of Unchavritti. So he says, Sapatni ma suruchiche karnashulamaina matanu. Karnashulamaina matanu. Her words were as if an iron trident were put into blazing fire and that was pierced into his ears. But there it is a very contrasting example. But here on the positive note, the mother experiences the same pain, but she feels happy about that pain because she is going to see a creation of hers that has grown within her when it comes outside. So, astam tavadiyam prasuti samaye durvara shulavyatha. There he says, they often say, Vandya Narina Janati Guruvi Prasava Vedana. A lady who chooses not to give birth or who has not given birth may not be able to experience that pain, how much ever said. So is the case with me, whoever is listening. I won't know the pain. But Shankara says, oh, it is only you, mother, who knows the pain. Astam tavadiyam prasuti samaye durvar shulavyata. Nairuchyam tanusoshanam malamayi shayyacha sambatsari for one sambatsaram, for one full year. While I was born and I was lying next to you, it was on the same bed, it was on the same mat that I was sleeping, where you were sleeping, that I used to urinate. I used to pass my feces, my stools. Yet you did not frown. You did not see that as an obnoxious odor. So he says, Nairuchyam tanusoshanam malamayi shayyacha sambatsari. You were lying besides me on the same mat, on the same bed with the same fervor, as if nothing was happening from me. एकस्यापि न गर्भभारभरणक्लेशस्य यस्याक्षमाः दातुं निष्कृतिम् उन्नतोऽपि तनयस्तस्यै जनन्यै नमः. How will I pay my respects to that mother who has experienced pain in giving birth to me, but she doesn't complain of anything that I say? Surely Adi Shankara must have got this beautiful idea from Matru Shodashi. There is a beautiful composition called Matru Shodashi, which has 16 shlokas, and each of these shlokas is recited when one pinda is given to the mother. So 16 pindas. For every pinda, the shloka is recited in Gaya. When one goes through the shlokas of Matru Shodashi, each of us will start regarding and respecting our mothers. Next, he comes to the second shloka, which is Gurukulam upasritya swapna kale tu drishtva yatui samuchita vesham prarudo mam tvamuchaihi Gurukulamata sarvam prarudatte samaksham sapadi charanayoste matarastu pranama. Hey Mata, I pay my respects to you. In Bhagavatam, we come across a Devaki who lost 6 children. Though they were born, they were immediately killed by Kamsa, who is regarded as a rebirth of Kalaneni. He killed all the 6 children. The seventh was believed to have been aborted, but it was transferred to the Garbham of Rohini, who was the other wife of Vasudeva. While Krishna, being the eighth fetus, was being carried by Devaki, Vedanta Deshika, in his beautiful composition called as Yadavabhyudayam, states, Sesheshayanam Garudena Yantim Padme Nishannam Adhiratna Pitam. What he says is, while she had very limited space to walk within the cell where she was languishing in the jail, while she used to walk within the limited space of the jail cell, Vedanta Deshika says at one point in time, Devaki started experiencing some flight like moments. As she walked, she felt as if she was flying. To us, most of us, if we visit a Disneyland, if we go on a roller coaster, we go on a Mary Columbus, probably maybe 10 minutes later, we feel the inertia as if we are going. So she felt she was actually flying. So she was a bit worried. She knew there was something wrong with her health. She wanted to protect this 8 fetus at least. So she lay flat on the ground and she slept. She didn't even complain to Vasudeva. And as she slept, she found that the floor was slithery in nature. It was slime. It was as if it was greasy in nature. She didn't understand why is it so slithery in nature all of a sudden. Vedanta Deshika states, while Devaki was carrying the Lord within her womb, two Nityasuris, one Garuda and the second Adisesha, wanted to serve the Lord even from then. So while she was standing, she felt flight-like movements because Garuda was carrying the both of them. Sesheshayanam Garudena Yantim Padme Shannam Adhiratna Peetham. As she slept, Adisesha became the sleeping couch. As Krishna was born, she pleaded to the Lord, keep the two other hands behind the first two behind, keep them in hiding because my brother may see you. Krishna said, it is a apacharam if I ask my mother to plead in front of me. While I was 24 years of age in Ramavataram, I listened to my father, that is Pitruvakya Paripalanam. But here I am born, I will listen to my mother immediately, Matrivakya Paripalanam, and he listened. Same is the case in Ramayana. Kamban, one of the earliest poets in the regional versions of Ramayana, one of the earliest regional versions of Ramayana in Bharatadesham, is of Kamba Ramayanam in Tamil. Kamban Vittu Kattu Thariyum Kavi Paadum is a beautiful statement in the Tamil tradition which states that Kamban was such a adept and a scholastic poet. He states that ஒரு பொழுது உலகெல்லாம் உதரத்துள் பொறிந்து அருமறைக்கு அரும் அவனை அஞ்சன கருமுகில் கொழுந்து எழில் காட்டும் சோதியை திருவுறப் பயர்ந்தனள் திறங்கொள் கோசலை. How fortunate Kausalya must have been to have carried the Lord in her womb. So he attributes the fortune to Kausalya. But the Lord, while he was being woken up by Vishwamitra and Balakandam, instead of waking Rama, Vishwamitra says, Kaushalya Suprajarama Purva Sandhya Pravartate. The commentator Periyavachan Pillai asks, he is waking up Rama, but why should he wake up Kaushalya's son Rama? Because he says, the person who had less rights on the child, who is the father, Dasharatha, gave a lot of impediments to send Rama to the forest along with Vishwamitra. But Matradevo Bhava, the one who had more rights, Mata Putrasya Bhuyamsi Karmanyavara Bhate tells Shastram. Kaushalya had more rights on the son, but she did not give impediments. So it was an act of gratitude that he said, Kaushalya's son Rama, wake up Kaushalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate. In the second verse of Matrika Panchakam, Adi Shankara tells, Gurukulam Upasritya. Hey Mata, while I was leaving to my tutelage under my acharyas, that very night you dreamt that I will take up sannyasa ashramam, and you came running to my hermitage where I was learning and came and hugged me. Looking at the unadulterated love that you were showing on me, people, the inmates of the ashrama started crying. In Srimad Ramayanam, while the three mothers, Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, Sumitra, how are they described? Alvar, the mystic Tamil poet, states, Maatruthai சென்று வனம் போக என்றிட ஈற்றுத்தாய் பின்தொடர்ந்து எம்பிரான் என்றழ கூற்றுத்தாய் சொல்ல கொடியவனம் போன சீதை சீற்றமில்லாதானை பாடிப்பற சீதைமணாளனை பாடிப்பற. He differentiates the mother on certain qualities. He states, here is one mother called Kaikeyi who wanted her son alone to be happy. She wanted her son alone to rule. And she asked somebody else's son to suffer. So, for the welfare of her son Bharata, she was ready to sacrifice another person's son. So, she sent Rama to the forest. There is another mother called Kaushalya. She wished good for Bharata as well as for Rama. Unlike Kaikeyi, she wanted good only for Bharata and not for Rama. Whereas here, we have Kaushalya who wished good for both Bharata and Rama. But there is Sumitra who wished good for another person's son, who was Rama, and who was ready to sacrifice her son. She said, Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi Gachatata Yata Sukham. From today onwards, it is not me who is your mother Lakshmana, it is not Dasharatha who is your father. It is Dasharatha's son Rama who is your father. It is Sita who is in my place. So if somebody asks you, where is Ayodhya? Don't tell Ayodhya is in Uttar Pradesh on the banks of Sarayu. Wherever Rama and Sita are, that place should be Ayodhya. This verse has been immensely commented upon by commentators like Govindaraja and Periyavachan Pillai. So here, Shankara tells, Gurukulam upasritya swapnakare tu drishtva yati samuchita vesham prarudomam tvamuchaihi. You were worried that I will take up sannyasa ashramam. This is a true worry. Because it is said in one of the incidents revolving around Adi Shankara's life, that a crocodile came and held one of his feet. And the people around said that you will have to abandon your son. Only then will the crocodile leave. And then she said, I will abandon. So this was good enough an opportunity for Shankara to take up to sannyasa ashrama. He said this is one of the incidents. So probably he was reminded of that childhood event. So he says, Yati samuchita vesham prarudo mam tvam uchaihi. In uchchasthai you were crying. Gurukula mathasarvam prarudatte samaksham sapari charanayoste matarastu pranamaha. To that mother who brought tears to the inmates by just embracing me, to that love, I offer my pranamams. Third is the shloka. न दत्तं मातस्ते मरणसमये तोयमपि वा स्वधावा नो दत्त मरणदिवसे श्राद्धविधिना न जप्त्वा मातस्ते मरणसमये तारकमनूर् अकाले सम्प्राप्ते मयि कुरु दयां मातुरतुलाम्. हे माता मातुरतुलाम् atulam, the one who doesn't have an equal, unparalleled, unsurpassed. To that mother I offer my pranamams. Nadatte mataste marana samaye toyamapiva. While you were lying on the deathbed, mother, I did not even have the love, the regard for you to offer some waters to you. Now, let us not assume that Shankara would have not offered. He's trying to project the feelings of any son or daughter in this world towards their mother. So there are people who don't offer. So let's put them in that position. It is not as if Shankara is trying to narrate his experience, but he does say, Nadattam mataste marana samaye toyamapiva. What did you ask? Just some waters while you were crying. If we all remember in the yesterdays, when our parents, grandparents, great grandparents used to visit the north of India to Ganga, the one thing that they used to carry was a beautiful Ganga Jalam. Of course, people say that the quality has come down. That's not proper Ganga. It is tap water. In whichever case, in those days, that was the only way. We didn't have plastic in those days. So it was brought in a beautiful small shombu, small jug. And that always used to be handy in the puja room. Because if the elderly person of the house passes away, that used to be broken and waters used to be offered to the dying person. So he says, Marana samaye toyamapi va svadha va nodatta svadha. Swaha Swadha Madhur Medha Sarva Shakti Manohara. People who are regular reciters of Sri Lalita Sahasranama will come across this. Even in Lakshmi Ashtotram, we come across this name of Swadha. Swaha is the name of Mahalakshmi, where she becomes the one to clear us off of any rinam, any dues towards devas. If we have deva rinam, by reciting that name of Swaha, Swaha, Yai Namaha, that will go, is a belief. Same is Swadha. It goes, the rinam goes of Pitru rinam. Pitrus are group, a community of people who are representatives of all the departed Jivatmas from the material body in our predecessors or in our families. So he says, Swadhavano Datta. Look at the word he uses because Swadha is for Pitrus. And since he's dealing with funeral rites, he's talking about his mother, where the Jivatma has left her material body. He says, Swadhavano Datta Marana Divase Shraddha Vidina. I did not do anything for your day, for that day, where I have to do with Shraddha. Shraddham I didn't do. न जप्त्वा मातस्ते मरणसमये तारकमनु अकाले सम्प्राप्ते मयि कुरुदया मातुरतुलाम्. I did not even tell you the Tarakamanu. Taraka means the one that helps us cross. So, Taraka Nama is often Ramanama, Vedanta Deshika, in a beautiful allegorical play. We have one allegorical play in the Advaita Siddhantam, written by a great scholar called Krishna Mishra. That work is called as Prabodha Chandrodayam. Similarly, we have an allegorical play in Sanskritam, a 10-act play written by the very celebrated Vedanta Deshika in the 13th and the 14th centuries. It is called Sankalpa Suryodayam. That is Prabodha Chandrodayam. This is Sankalpa Suryodayam. In Sankalpa Suryodayam, Vedanta Deshika writes a beautiful verse. Iha purusham ajanatam puranam niyati vashena ninilatam dayaluhu Upadishadi pati swayam pashunam Upanishadamapi turagam rahasyam. There is Lord Shiva, Dakshinamurti, holding his trident, waiting for a person who Jivatma is going to leave the material body, and in his right ear he will go and teach the Taraka mantra, which is Ramanama. Rama 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 ಎನ್ನೀರೋ ನೇಮದಿಂದ ಭಜಿಸುವವರ ಕಾಮಿದ ಫಲ ಕೊಡುವ ನಾಮ says Purandaradasa. ರಾಮ ಮಂತ್ರವ ಜಪಿಸೋ ಹೇ ಮಾನುಜ ರಾಮ ಮಂತ್ರವ ಜಪಿಸೋ ಆ ಮಂತ್ರ ಈ ಮಂತ್ರ ಕೇಳದೀನಿ ಕೇಳಬೇಡ ಸೋಮಶೇಖರ ತನ್ನ ಬಾಮೆ ಬೆಳಿವ ಮಂತ್ರ ರಾಮ ಮಂತ್ರವ. So Purandaradasa, regarded as a Pitamaha of classical South Indian Carnatic music, in his compositions in chaste Kannada tells that the Taraka Mantram is Rama Mantram. Adi Shankara states, I neither gave you water, nor did I perform the Shraddham with Shraddha, nor did I even recite that Taraka Mantram in your ears. What kind of a son am I, Hey Mata? In other words, or on the other hand, we have instances where the mother shows her benevolence completely. In Ayodhya Kandam of Srimad Ramayanam, we come across Rama informing his mother Kaushalya that he has been ordained to go on an exile for 14 years to the forest, Dandakaranyam, by his revered father. Kaushalya starts weeping. She says, all these days I have been bearing the humiliation and insult at the hands of Kaikeyi, though I am the principal consort to the king. But I was with the belief that one day you will become the Yuvaraja, the heir apparent, and then the king, so that I can at least have the joy and the pleasure of seeing my son, the righteous son of mine, seated on the throne. And today, all that is shattered. You are going to the forest. How will I live without you? Then Rama convinces Kaushalya, stating that it is you who has to stay with the father, take care of him. It is your prime duty. I will go to the forest. I have been ordained to. That is when Kaushalya tells, now that you have decided to go, as a mother, I have to bless you. You know, I will not create verses to bless you, my dear son. There is a verse in Ayodhya Kandam of Valmiki. She says, I will bless you with the same verses. What Vinata, Kashyapa's wife, blessed her younger son Garuda while he was on an expedition to get the Rasayanam, often regarded as Amrita or ambrosia or nectar, from Amaravati, the land of Indra. While he left, Garuda left his place, taking blessings of his father Kashyapa. Kashyapapura is Kashmira today. And from his mother Vinata, Vinata, the mother, blessed her son Garuda. I will bless you with the same verses, is the verse in Ramayanam. But Valmiki does not say what those verses are. She would have surely recited, but he does not make account of that. Whereas Vyasacharya, who came after Valmiki in Mahabharatam, in Adi Parva, in Garudopakhyanam, says, those verses are Pakshaute Marutappatu Chandrasuryaucha Prishtataha Shirascha Patu Vanniste Vasavaha Sarvatastanum Aham Chate Sada Putra Shanti Swasti Parayana Ihasina Bhavishyami Swastikare Raka Sada Aham Vrajapanthanam Putrakaryartha Siddhaye. These are the verses from Adi Parva of Mahabharata where Vinata blesses her son. So in those days, in India, at least in the south of India, there used to be a custom where if the son or the daughter go out of the house, in those days, it was actually a kind of lockdown that we are practicing now. So going from one village to another itself was a rarity. Unless and until there was some debate, unless and until there was a war, there was no need to travel between villages. So there was no question of having a migrant population. People speaking Tamil, people who knew Sanskrit, people who knew Telugu, people who knew Hindi, they were very happy in their own villages. So as they used to leave, if there was a need for them to go, the mother would actually recite these two verses. So we had a tradition of remembering our itihasas and Puranas every now and then. Today it has become a topic of discussion on a social media platform like a Zoom or a webinar or a YouTube or a Twitter or a LinkedIn, Instagram, any of these. But in those days, it was a custom to recite such verses. So Vinata, she blesses her son So she was the daughter of Daksha. That is why Vedanta Deshika says, Nandanam Nandayishyan Kritva Maulau Tadajnam. So I pay my obeisances to Dakshayani, Daksha's daughter Vinata. And Andal tells, Vinadai Siruvan Shiragennum Nelappinkai Varuvanai. So we see the benevolence shown by a mother like Vinata towards her son Garuda, which was reminded, or that was reminded by Kaushalya towards her son Rama. So a mother shows so much of benevolence, but Shankara states, I did not offer you water, I did not perform Shradham, I did not do the Taraka Mantra Japam. What kind of a son am I? In the fourth verse, there is this beautiful verse that Shankara comes up with. Muktamanitvam nayanam mameti rajeti jiveti chirasutatvam ityuktapatyastav vachi mataha dadamyaham tandulameva shushkam. Tandulameva shushkam. What do I offer? Only tandulam. Before that, he states, Mukteti jiveti. When the mother, I'm sure each of you, if you're a Telugu speaking person, you can associate yourself in your beautiful language of Telugu. They say Telugu Teta. That is, when you keep speaking Telugu, you will never ever get tired or bored of speaking that language because it is so sweet. And if you're a Kannada speaking person, we know Kasturi Kannada. Kannadalli ಹೇಳುವಾಗ Kasturi Kannada ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. How beautiful is the language. Tamilukkum amudendru per, in beautiful ancient language of Tamil, which gives a very, very tough competition to Sanskrit when researchers examine about the antiquity of languages. In Tamil, or if you're a Malayali, what a beautiful language Malayalam is. If you're a Hindi speaking person, a Marathi speaking person, Bengali, what sweet that language is. In any of the languages, you will have to associate yourself of how your mother would have pampered you or would have addressed you. In Tamil, in Kanne, in Utte, in Manikame. Same is the case with Telugu. Annamacharya sings, Jo Achyutananda, Jo Jo Mukunda, Rave Paramananda, Rama Govinda, Jo Jo. It is as if Devaki is making her son Krishna to sleep. If you're aware of the beautiful composition in Telugu of Saint Tyagaraja, Shri Rama Shayyata Pathalanu Satsarvabhuma. He puts Rama to sleep thinking that he is Kaushalya. Kulashekar Alvar, the celebrated Alvar, composer of Mukundamala, the great Chera king, he imagines himself to be Kaushalya and puts Rama to sleep. Manpugal Kausalaitan Manimayirvaitavane. Narayana Tirtha and Krishna Leela Tarangini Madhava Mamavadeva. Periyalvar, in his Periyalvar Tirumozhi, Manikam Katti, Vairamidai Katti, Ani Punna Seida Vanna Chiruduttil, Peni Gunakku Piraman Vidutandan, Mani Kurallane Talelo. And the mother has to call her son by names. She would say, you are my gem. Muttu, Manikam, Vairam, Vaiduriyam. These are all the gems. For her, everything is this child. So he remembers what all beautiful words his mother used. Adi Shankara, he's a sannyasi. He speaks of Advaita. There is a Vyavaharika Disha. There is a Paramarthika Disha. There is an Anubhuti process. But all that is on one side. Look at the love that he sheds on this composition. Mukta Manitvam Nayanam Mameti. Nayanam Mameti. You are my eyes. Radeti Jiveti. You are my Raja. Which Raja is he? Where did Adi Shankara become a Raja? Where did Ramanuja become a Raja? To every mother, the son or the daughter is a Raja. Rajeti Jiveti Chirasutatvam Ityuktavastya Pavavachi Mataha. From that mouth, that pampered me with such beautiful words while I was born. While you are dying, all that I can offer is only a handful of rice, mother, in your mouth. Dadamyaham tandula meva shushkam. All that I can offer is only this. I don't know whether he repents, but he says, what equivalent of the words and the love that you're showered is this handful of rice to your dead body, to your material body? And finally, in the last verse, he states, Ambeti tateti shiveti tasmin prasuti kale yadavocha vuchaihi krishneti govinda hare mukunda iti jananye aho rachitoyam anjalihi. All this while he was saying it out, which is a pranamam, a namaskaram. But now he says, rachitoyam anjalihi. Now I offer my anjali mudra, mata. This Anjali is a mudra. It's actually a posture with which you offer your namaskarams. Even people who are practitioners and wonderful classical dancers of Bharatanatyam will know there is an Anjali mudra that we use. What is Anjali? To explain the significance of Anjali, Vedanta Deshika wrote a work called as Anjali Vaibhavam. Jalayati iti Anjalihi. The one posture that if I do, the opposite person will start shedding tears. He will start feeling, for asking this, why did you have to put your palms together? Because this is like doing Sharanagati. This is akin to doing Sharanagati. So Rachitoyam Anjalihi, I offer Anjali to so many people. Many are worthless in nature. And today I'm offering to that one person who's completely worthy, who's priceless, who's a nulli secundus, who's unparalleled, who's unsurpassed. To that mother I offer Anjalihi, Rachitoyam Anjalihi, to that mother who, while giving birth to me, she experienced that pain. He connects the first verse. Astam Tavadiyam Prasuti Samaye Durvara Shulavyatha. That pain, excruciating pain, like a trident is being pierced, he completes here. What did she do while she experienced that pain? That time she said, Ambeti Tatiti, Hey Amba, Hey Mata, I offer my pranamams to you. Ambeti Tata Iti. Tata is a father. So in generally in Tamil we say Amma, Appa. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳುವಾಗನು ತಾಯಿ ತಂದೆ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ತೆಲುಗುలో సీతమ్మ మాయమ్మ శ్రీరాముడు మాకు తండ్రి సీతమ్మ మాయమ్మ. Says Tyagaraja. He says Sita is my mother, like how Lakshmana said, Sītamma Mayamma. Sriramudu Maku Tandri. Tandri ante father. So in whichever language, she could have used so many words. In Tamil, you might have all come across. Now that we're all fans of such wonderful Bollywood, Tollywood, Hollywood, Mollywood, Sandalwood films. You would have come across words like Ayyo, which is being used in Tamil. She could have said Ayyo, but here she neither used any of that. She just said Ambeti Tateti, Amma, Appa, Shiveti, Shiva. Lord Shiva's name. Shiva also means auspicious. Shivahas Thanuhu is the name that comes in Vishnu Sahasranamam. Tasmin Prasuti Kale Yadavocha Uchaihi. With that Uchasthai you shouted, mother. What other names did you say? Krishneti. You should be like a Krishna to me. Govinda. Gavam Indraha Govindaha. Govinda name comes at least 3 or 4 times in Vishnu Sahasranamam. Each time Shankara, Parashara Bhatta, and the Madhva commentator give different meanings. Go indicates speech, the one who grants us the art of speaking, the eloquent way of speaking. There is a grandeur in the way we present. He is called Govinda. Dakshanya Ramya Girishasya Murti, Devi Sarojasana Dharmapatni, Vyasadayopi Vyahadeshyavachaha Spuranti Sarve Tavashakti Leshaihi, tells Vedanta Deshika. So Govinda, she calls the name of Govinda. She's worried. Krishneti, let him be like Krishna, handsome, charming. Govinda, let him have the speaking art. Because every mother, as soon as a child is born, she will check if the child is right. 2 hands are working, 2 legs are working. Others will be excited. We will be distributing kalakan. And look at the kind of recipes that we see in the lockdown period. I would want to cook everything possible. So everybody will be delighted and will be gay in distributing those sweets. But here the mother is concerned whether the child's ears are working, nose is functioning, if the child can see. she will still be concerned until the child walks, until the child turns, until the child utters that word, Amma. Papanasham Shivan tells, Yengu Parabrahmam Amma Venjayaka Yendavam Shedane Ired Bhuvanangal Padaitavane Kaileti Shirati Paluti Tala Yendavam Shedane. So till the child utters that Amma, Talli, Abba, Amma, Amme, Ma, mother, mom, mummy, whichever way you call it, the mother is concerned. To that mother who was concerned that I should be as charming, as handsome, as attractive as Krishna, she called out the name Krishna. Krishneti, Krishna, iti is Krishneti. Govinda Hare Mukunda Hara. Hare. This word indicates that the person who is ready to steal. Harir Harati Papani. All the sins that we have accrued is stolen because he's a thief. In the fourth Anuvakam of Sri Rudram, which is called Shatarudriyam, it says, uh, um, Namo Kakubhaya Nishangine, Stenanam Pataye Namaha, Taskaranam Pataye Namaha, Taskaranam Pati, Sayunam Pati. These are all names that describe the various categories of thieves. But why should you call a Hari or a Hara as thief? Because they are capable of stealing the sins that we have accrued. That is the biggest asset that we have. And they have the art of stealing the sins that we have accrued. Hare Mukunda. Mukunda. The one who gives moksha is called Mukunda. Iti Jananye, to that mother who shouted the names of the Lord, not for relieving herself of pain, but so that she ensures that I have a good life and a livelihood. To that mother, Aho Rachitoyam Anjalihi, I offer my pranamams, tells Adi Shankara. Now, if we look at compositions like uh, uh, Saundarya Lahari, for example, which most scholars believe was a composition of Adi Shankara. Some scholars believe it was written by another Shankara who came after him. Nevertheless, let's now attribute it to Shankara. Beginning with Shiva Shaktya Yukto Yadi Bhavati Shakta Prabhavitum till Prabhuta Jwala Vedivasakar Niraja Vidhi Sudha Sutes Chandro Phala Jalala Vairagya Rachana Swaki Rambo Vesalila Sauhitya Karanam. To all these compositions, he positions Shaktism there. He talks of Varahi, he talks of Lakshmi. So he does project Devi Bhagavatam to some extent there. He does project to some extent the extracts of Mother here and there. Same is the case with Shivananda Relhari, where he talks of Shiva. If you take a Bhajagovindam, which is Moha Mudgaram, he talks about Geyam, Gita, Nama Sahasram, so many things. But to some extent, these are all theology based. If I am a practicing Vaishnavite, I may be more attracted towards the Mukundashtakam, Ranganathashtakam, Bhajagovindam. If I am a practicing Shaivite, I may be more attracted towards Shivananda Hari. If I am a practicing Shakta, I may be more attracted towards Saundarya. I'm using the word may because there's no harm in getting attracted to all of them. But Matra Panchakam is beyond theology. It doesn't restrict itself to a Vaishnavism, Shaivism, or a Shaktism. It doesn't introduce concepts of Advaita or Visishta Advaita to confuse a normal listener. This composition of Shankara can reach every nook and corner of the country because even scholars say that Siddhantam, Nyaya, Mimamsa, Tarka is for a certain level of a student. Not all of them will be able to digest the content that is being dispensed through such channels of knowledge. But when it comes to Matra Panchakam, everybody can associate. A lot of the smartas who come in the Advaita Siddhartha, I have heard them say this Upodghata Shloka. Sadashiva Samarambham, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Paramparam. To Visishta Advaitins or largely the Sri Vaishnavites, you might have heard of the shloka Lakshmi Natha Samarambham, Nathayamana Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam. So we have a Guru Parampara shloka. Now, if you look at this composition of either Sadashiva Samarambham or Lakshmi Natha Samarambham, it states where it starts, the Guru Parampara where it starts, who comes in the middle, but it doesn't say who comes in the end because this is a continuous, eternal, timeless, perennial, incessant chain. It doesn't stop. So Asmadacharya Paryanta means beginning from Lakshmi Natha, who is Sriman Narayana, till Asmadacharya Paryantam, till the Acharya, the Prakritam Acharya that I see, I offer my pranamams. This is a good parampara shloka. Now imagine 100 years later, maybe my seventh generation, your eighth generation, they are all reciting. Even then, the shloka will be applicable because Asmadacharya Paryantam will apply till then. Likewise, Matra Panchakam also applies to all periods of time. And this is a composition just fine. It is not 100 shlokas like a Saundarya or Shivananda Lahari. It is not the 16 plus 15 shlokas put together by Shankara and his disciples called Mohamudgaram or Bhajagovindam. It is just 5 simple shlokas. It is sans philosophy. It is sans theology. It is sans Mimamsa, Tarka, Vedam, Vedangas. It is beyond all that, where it celebrates mother and motherhood. Lakshmana tells in Srimad Ramayanam, Janani Janmabhumischa Svargadapi Gariyasi, in the last portion called Araneyaka Parva in Vanaparva of Mahabharata comes Yaksha Krishna. Of the 124 questions posed by Yaksha, he asks, Kimsvid Gurutaram Bhumehe. Kimsvid Gurutaram. Guru means one is an Acharya. Guswandhakara Harutan Nirodhaka. The other meaning is the one which is large, big. Kimsvid Gurutaram Bhumehe, which is bigger than earth. Mata Gurutaram Bhumehe is the answer given by Yudhishthira. Imagine I would have been in his position. 124 questions at one go. It is not even multiple choice. In multiple choice, I at least have a 1 by 4th probability, 25% of getting the answer right. Unlike that, he answers one question after the other because Kunti was such a great mother. So we come across great mothers, be it Krishna's mother of Devaki and Yashoda, be it Rama's mother of Kaushalya, be it Lakshmana and Shatrughna's mother Sumitra, be it great Acharya's mother like Aryamba, Shankara's mother, be it Kantimati, Ramanuja's mother, be it Totaramma, Vedanta Deshika's mother. We have one set, the mothers who have given birth to Rama and Krishna, Bhagavan Swayam, giving birth to Bhagavan, Paramatma, Parabrahma. On the other hand, we have mothers who have given rise to Bhagavatamas like Shankara, Ramanuja, Madhva, Vedanta Deshika. But it is said in Mahabharatam that the daughter-in-law of Arjuna, that is Uttara of Matsya Desham, she comes in Virata Parva, she is married to Krishna's son, Arjuna's son Abhimanyu. The child Parikshit was a posthumous son because he did not see his father at birth. The father was dead while he was in gestation, the gestation period. So she was called Uttara. Uttara means one who is supremely, superiorly elevated. Devaki, Yashoda, Kaushalya, Sumitra, Vinata, who come in our Itihasas Puranas, having given birth to Rama, Krishna, Garuda, they are not called Uttaras. Aryamba, Kantimati, Totaramma, who have given birth to Shankara, Ramanuja, Vedanta Deshika, Bhagavatottamas, Acharyas, they are not called Uttaras. But the one who gave rise to Parikshit, gave birth to Parikshit, she is called Uttara. Why? Because in order to protect Parikshit, Krishna goes as a Angushtamatra Purushaha through her navel, umbilical cord, and goes around the amniotic fluid to protect the child. So at one point in time, the child started looking. This is the only place where I believe there can be no encroachment. Who has encroached my area? The child started looking left and right. As he looked around, Pare Ikshate, he started looking around. So he was called Parikshit. So at one point in time, in a gestation, Uttara carried the Bhagavan, who's Krishna, as well as the Bhagavatottama Parikshit. Devaki, Yashoda, Kaushalya, they carried Bhagavan alone. Aryamba, Kantimati carried Bhagavatottama alone. Uttara carried the Bhagavan, who's Krishna, as well as Bhagavatottama Parikshit, who through him we have got Bhagavata Mahapuranam. So she's called Uttara. So how many mothers can we celebrate? See, we have a list. We've got great mothers whom we can celebrate, but there's only one thing that we can often say, Tasyai Jananyai Namaha. Let us put our palms together and offer our pranamams to that respected, fearless mother. So this is an opportunity for me through the Advaita Academy to having addressed a very, very sincere audience through various channels from Zoom to webinar to YouTube and Facebook. You've all been so benevolent in making time and listening to such a beautiful composition of one of the greatest sons and acharyas of this beautiful land of Bharat Nation called Adi Shankara. Namaskarams to him. A bigger namaskarams to the mother who gave birth to such an acharya. So I'm sure all of you would have realized the importance of a mother. I'm sure all of you will be realizing, but this composition is an opportunity for us to realize. And so I will conclude with a shloka and then take up the questions. Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashalini Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena महिन् महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा